Welcome to Warrior Commission Now, where we talk about practical ways to live out your commission in Christ. And today we are talking about a fun topic that you may or may not know what direction we're going to go with it. Reflections. Reflections is the topic. And I'm Christine Caston.
And I'm Sharon Rudolph.
And Sharon and I are going to explore, we're actually going to take you guys deep into an identity statement that is part of the Warrior Commission's identity, but using it as an example of kind of how we develop identity statements and what happens in the process of that, and then how we walk them out. So one of the things that we love about the Warrior Commission is that we truly do have kingdom identity statements as a community that all of us get to tap into. So Sharon, you want to share one of those identity statements with everyone?
Yes. So a simple sentence. We are multifaceted diamonds who display God's light in a myriad of colors. And yeah, it's that simple.
It's that simple, but it carries within it a multitude of things. And so we understand that to be a diamond that reflects his light, then he is our source of light and joy and hope.
Yeah.
That is expressed through our openness to him. He is the wisdom of the ages who allows our circumstances to create a beautiful gem that is flawless and pure.
Yes. And he is the one creating the gem.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how in our partnership with him, he is refining, he is making sure things are polished when they need to be, cut when they need to be, so that we can be the gems he originally designed us to be.
Mm-hmm.
And he is so awesome to work with. And being in the light is so absolutely delightful.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And what's so wonderful about that is part of the verse that is connected to this identity statement is 1 John 2:10, and that says, "He who loves his brother abides in the light, and there is no cause for stumbling in him." And so one of the things that we found is as we may be at points in time where diamonds in the rough, right? So we're in the process of God coming in, and he knows what's needed so that we will reflect his light in the full capacity of what's available, right? And so over time, he shapes the diamond and he pulls out the best cut, because like jewelers will look at an uncut diamond and they'll work with it so that it becomes the shape and form that is best for fully reflecting and capturing the light. And so he does that with us as well. And the light that's displayed isn't just visible light. There's also invisible light that's displayed that maybe we can't see, but it takes us into like the fruit of the Spirit and the nature of God and what we carry with us as we move into a place, that atmosphere that we carry that is of his heart and of his nature that may not necessarily have a color that we can see, but it has a color in the kingdom. And so in that place, humility is incredibly important, because we aren't the light, right? The light doesn't come from us, it comes from him. So there's a submitting to the light and being placed in the light in the best position so that it can shine through us in the fullest way. So Sharon, you want to talk a little bit about that humility piece within this identity statement that we have?
Yeah, I think one of the best ways is with a picture. And I love the story of Nicodemus in the Bible, mm-hmm. because he was a man who had he lived in a certain culture, even within the Jewish people. Mm-hmm. He was a Pharisee.
Right.
And there was so much of being a Pharisee meant fitting in with how they did things, what they said. And there wasn't really a consideration when outside things came in. If it didn't fit the box, well, no, that's not let's not go there. Let's not do that. And yet Nicodemus was willing. He saw the light in Jesus. He saw the possibility in this man from Nazareth, and he connected with him.
Mhm.
And Jesus brought the light to Nicodemus and shared words with him that Nicodemus didn't get.
Right.
And yet Jesus didn't beat him up with words,
Right.
didn't tell him, how horrible he was. He simply brought the light. Nicodemus interacted with it, and then they parted ways.
Mhm.
And yet by the end of Jesus's life, Nicodemus is the one who helps him be buried
Mhm.
and gets him to the tomb. God did a work in this man's life. And he was humble enough to set aside shoulds, supposed tos, cultures, friends, whatever,
Mhm.
to say, this light's more valuable than all of that.
Mhm.
And I'm going to align with this light.
Right.
And I think we're all called to that same kind of journey.
Mhm.
Whether we know Jesus as a friend or not,
Mhm.
or whether we've walked with him 20 or 30 years or not,
Right.
because it doesn't matter where you are. It's, will you let the light do what the light does, which is shine through you,
Mhm.
right? And it's
Right.
not going to shine through you if there's darkness in you. Jesus also tells the story about how the eye is carries the light of the soul.
Mhm.
And if it's dark, the whole thing is dark. And
Mhm.
it really has a lot to do with that God light shining through you. You can have a conversation with people and they know something's up. And I've met people and I've had them do a double take because they're not sure if they get me or not, right? They want to understand better who I am.
Mhm.
And my one desire is that they see that light. They see that God light and
Mhm.
what might be possible for them in that space. to
Well,
see
and
that.
it's, like a diamond, as light shines through it, the light that shines through creates a reflection on whatever it hits, right? And so there's a reflection that's created. And then there's another aspect to the reflection piece, and that's the idea of like when people would come and accuse Jesus, he would basically, almost like he turned the mirror on them, and the reflection that they saw was the darkness in their own heart, right? So it's like he turned that mirror so that they could see their own reflection and recognize what was there. And I was thinking about that verse in 1 Corinthians 13, 12, where it talks about, we see, as if through a mirror dimly, we see this
Right.
reflection that's dim. And as I was praying about that, in light of this particular conversation, I was also thinking about, as God refines that diamond, as it's shaped and cut and it reflects his light, that mirror becomes, that dimness starts to go away and clarity starts to come, right? So all of a sudden you get definition, and you get a sharper image, and you also get an understanding of the vibrancy, the vibrancy of the colors that you can see, because it's that mirror is reflecting who God is in us, right? And how he's moving through us. So the brightness and the brilliance of who he is actually sharpens that image in the mirror. And we see a reflection back of who we are becoming in God, and who he is pouring into to bring us into the full capacity, which is ultimately to carry his glory to the end of the world. It's for him, not for us. But he, in his relational passion for us, he creates a way for us to join in that. And so in that grace place, we also get to see that reflection of his light in our lives.
Yes. And it's our hope in him and the light that he is what then other people see in us. And the second part of that verse says, now I know in part, then I shall be known fully, even as I am fully known. And just knowing that God's going to share his light with us, And he really does know us fully. He's
Yeah.
not waiting for something in us to be fixed.
Mm-mm.
It's here. He wants to be in the friendship and in the process so that we can become that diamond
Yes,
that
absolutely.
he created us to be. And I love the concept of the myriad of colors. And for our community, I think that's huge. No one in our community is supposed to fit in or have to be something to reflect God's light, because each person is unique.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Do you have anything else you'd like to add? Cool. So, for you guys who've been listening today, what light are you standing in? And have you seen the light of God? Do you want to see the light of God? And all you have to do is ask. Whether you've walked with him 30 years or you don't even know him, all you have to do is say, yeah, I want to be in that light. I want, if there's darkness in me, I'm okay with God turning that mirror so that I can see what's there and I can carry a true light that brings hope to the world. You might want to check out the Warrior Commission. We're a community that loves to help you in your journey of the goodness and kindness of God so that you can be the gem he created you to be. So the information's below the video here, thewarriorcommission.com. Come check us out. I think you might find some things that help you in your journey in the light.
Bye.